season, that's when they really got rolling. Kurt Geisey found a nice role coming off the bench, and now he'll probably be in the starting lineup again this year. Tyrell Jackson shooting from outside. Those are the two seniors, obviously. We've seen a lot of them the last few years here, so we know what they can do. And it's going to be on these freshmen and sophomores to see what they can do. I think Joey Weingartner is going to be that guy that kind of steps up and fills up a lot of the points that are missing, because he was that transfer that came in and was very late to the scene, didn't really get his feet under him here with Capital. Did play in 17 games and got 3 starts towards the end of the year, so we did start to see him there at the end of the year. Now with a full season with this team, I'm spending the offseason with them, obviously, in all those practices. I think that chemistry is going to be there, and I think he's the real scoring threat that's going to emerge. And we'll see what we've got down low. We have a lot of young players in the post, and that's always been a key to Capital, especially on the men's side of things. The Ben Danovs, the Andrew Bolkas down low. We'll see if we got that presence this year.
Jimmy, one player that I'm looking forward to this year, Austin Streck. Here's a guy that played very well during his freshman campaign. The leading rebounder returning this year for Capital. This guy can do a whole bunch of things, and it seems like he just keeps working and working more at his game. Yeah,
Streck and Hannah, I think, are very similar players. They both have a lot of length for guards. They're very good defenders, and they take care of the basketball as well, which is very good qualities to have for a guard. You look at Streck, he had 54 assists to 35 turnovers last year. Will Hannah, 40 assists to 19, so 2-to-1 there, and about 1.5-to-1 for Austin Streck. So that's a good ratio from your guards that you're going to expect, and Kurt Geisey as well. They're going to have very good backcourt play. Geisey a little bit more reckless with the turnovers, but that's kind of the player he is. He's a slasher. He goes into the lane. Sometimes it doesn't work out so well for him, but he is that kind of high-energy guy that they need, and Streck and Hannah are nice complements to that style.
And finally, Jimmy, it's very good to see head coach Damon Goodwin return to the sidelines. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, last season Damon Goodwin had to take a leave of absence from the Capital men's basketball program to battle hairy cell leukemia. He made a full recovery. I saw him walking around before tonight's game. He looks great. It's just great to see Coach Goodwin back.
Yeah, I saw him walking around too, and he seems to be in high spirits. I'm sure it's a nice night for him to be back on the bench finally, and it's probably been a long year for him, so it's good to see him back at home on the Capital bench, and hopefully Capital gives him a win tonight.
When we come back, we'll set the table for Capital's opponent tonight, the Comets of Olivet College. You're listening to the Jimmy John's pregame show here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network. Welcome back to the Jimmy John's pregame show. Let's now set the table for Capital's opponent tonight. That would be the Comets of Olivet College. This is brought to you by Capital Dining Services. Well, Jimmy, last year for the Comets, 3-22 overall, 2-12 within conference play. There's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah, that pretty much says it. 1-11 on the road, 2-12 in conference, like you said, 1-9 at home even. There's just not a whole lot there to really look forward to from this team. They did shoot 32% from outside, which isn't a terrible shooting percentage. Capital, similar percentage last year, around 33%. They are trending upward from 2 years ago. Remember that team, Charlie, couldn't shoot the three-pointer very well at all. So you might see them struggle from the outside in this game, but maybe Olivet gets hot from out there with the 33%. The more alarming number is the fact that they shot 39% from the field as a team last year. So just not a whole lot going in there. If you compare that to Capital, Capital shot 48% as a team last year. So obviously under 40, not something that you're shooting for. and hopefully they've got some players this year that is going to turn it around for them, but not a whole lot of freshmen there. It's going to kind of fall on the development of the players that they've had in place to see what they can do.
Well, and speaking of players, Jimmy, it doesn't help that they lose their leading scorer from a year ago, Lee Gardner. Gardner averaging 21.3 points per game and also 8.5 rebounds.
Yeah, they lost a lot there. Chris Krzan is their center now. He's got 4.3 rebounds, or 2.8 rebounds per game, was their second leading rebounder from last year coming back. RJ Haas has 4.3 coming back. So Capital very untested in the post. Luckily tonight, Olivet kind of has the same story on the other side. They are seniors, both Haas and Krzan, but the numbers really haven't been there their entire career. So we'll see, kind of been hiding in the shadow of Gardner maybe, and we might see them break out here tonight.
When we come back, we'll give you the keys to tonight's game. What does Capital have to do in order to start off on the right foot during the 2016-2017 campaign? We'll have that for you and much more as we continue with the Jimmy John's pregame show here on the Capital Sports Network. Welcome back to the Jimmy John's pregame show as we are inching closer and closer to tip-off to the season opener for Capital men's basketball. Capital hosting the Comets of Olivet College alongside Jimmy Bloomfield. I'm Charlie Davis. Let's now get to tonight's keys to the game. These are brought to you by the Marriott Columbus Airport. Jimmy, the floor is yours.
I think the first key is for us tonight, Charlie, not read too much into this first game, and for the fans out there as well. A team that has lost Mark Minch and Michael Green, those were their two go-to scorers. So obviously we're going to see a lot of a different look tonight from this offense, what they bring to the table, maybe players taking some shots that they're not normally accustomed to shooting, or just trying to mix it up and see what we can do in terms of getting some more production out of these guys that have mainly been role players. So I think that's the first key, is not read too much into today's game. As far as the game down on the court, it's going to come down to, what these players finding their niche in this year's team. They were very good in their roles last year towards the end of the year. And again, I just mentioned like 4 or 5 times now that Minch and Green are not here. So someone is going to have to step up, be that scorer. I'm thinking it's going to be Weingardner. And guys like Schreck and Hanna and Geisy are all going to need to find that next level and get, more involved with the offense, not just be that defensive threat and that distributor. Someone's going to have to step up and take that shot. And the last key, I think, would be down low. You got Caleb Cox down there and Courtney Mays coming back as sophomores. And that's about it as far as returning players that are going to be playing in the post here today. Caleb Cox looked really good last year coming off the bench in a very limited role, and now he's going to be probably asked to play many more minutes than he played last year, frankly, and it's going to fall a lot of pressure on him to see what he can do. They've got a couple of freshmen as well that we're looking forward to seeing what they can bring to the table down there. And the outside shooting we talked about, Charlie, they were under 30% 2 years ago, at 33% last year, which is still not terrible, but not great. I would say it's pretty average at 33, maybe a little below average. I'd like to see them shoot around 36, 37% from outside. I don't think that's asking too much. I'm not asking them to shoot 45% from outside. And if they can improve outside a little bit and get the three-point shooting going a little bit here tonight, Tyrell Jackson's going to be a big part of that. We'll see what they can do here tonight at the Cap Center.
It should be exciting. This is going to be our first real look at the Capital men's basketball program here in the 2016-2017 campaign. And hey, hopefully this will be the start of something really, really cool here within these next couple of months. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and our final thoughts getting set for tonight's season opener between Capital and Olivet. This has been Jimmy John's pregame show here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network. Welcome back to the Capitol Center. We are about to tip off the 2016-2017 campaign between Olivet and Capital. The men's team getting set to take on the Comets here tonight. And now we send it down to the court to public address announcer Neil Shapiro.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Capitol Center Performance Arena on the campus of Capital University, for our 2016-17 season opener featuring the visiting Comets of Olivet College and your Capital University Crusaders. Welcome to the Brigade program available free of charge just inside the entrance here to the arena. You'll have information on both teams, including rosters, schedules, and links to each team's season statistics. The programs are free of charge. If you're visiting the Capital Center for the first time, restroom facilities are outside the main entrance near the stairwell, as is the concession stand, which is fully equipped with tasty treats and cold beverages. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America and those who defend our freedoms, would you please rise? We'll be playing our national anthem.
So after that playing of the national anthem, we are almost set to get some basketball underway here at the Capitol Center. Let's now go ahead and give you the starting lineups. These are brought to you by Dill's Greenhouse. First, for the visiting Comets of Olivet College, which is located about an hour 15 west of Ann Arbor. The starting lineup for the Comets look like this. At guard will be the 5'10" junior from Lansing, Michigan, number 20, Jordan Terry. Also at guard will be the 6'2" sophomore from Cleveland, Ohio. That'd be number 22, Kyle Emery. Also at guard will be the 6'1" senior from Harper Woods, Michigan. That would be number 23, Eric Ewing. And then rounding out the starting five for the Comets, the 6'5" senior forward from Albion, Michigan, number 42, R.J. Haas, and the 6'7" senior forward from Monroe, Michigan. That would be number 50, Chris Krizan. The head coach of Olivet is Steve Ernst. And now the starting lineup for your Capital Crusaders. Starting at guard, the 6'3" sophomore from Erlanger, Kentucky. Number 3, Austin Schreck. Also at guard will be the 6' sophomore from Centerville, Ohio. Number 22, Joey Weingartner. Also at guard will be the 6'2" senior from Dublin, Ohio. Number 23, Tyrell Jackson. At forward will be the 6'7" freshman from Robertson, Ohio. Number 33, Nate Boone. And finally, round out the starting lineup for Capital will be the 6'6" freshman from Chillicothe, Ohio. That would be number 45, Tyler Jamison. And on the sidelines, starting his 22nd season as Capital men's basketball head coach, that would be Damon Goodwin. Coach Goodwin coming back from a year-long battle against hairy cell leukemia. It was great to see Damon Goodwin back on the Capital sideline. Capital wearing their white jerseys and shorts. The front of the jerseys with white lettering and purple numbers. Also, everybody wearing purple shoes on the side of Capital. Meanwhile, Olivet, Jimmy, they have a pretty interesting wardrobe even when they came walking in here today.
They all had sweater vests on as a team on their travel uniform, and they seem to be all rocking Under Armour now, and they're all red uniforms. Interesting, Charlie, that Geisy coming off the bench. I do like that they're sticking with what they did last year, despite losing Minch and some of the other starters, keeping him coming off the bench, a role that Geisy really thrives at.
Here comes the opening tip brought to you by Zoe's Cafe. Well, we have waited about a year, and now another season of basketball getting set underway here at Capital. Ball's up in the air, and Capital wins the opening tip.
Championship.
It might be a little too early for that, partner, but okay. Austin Schreck controlling the ball for Capital. And swinging on over to Weingartner. Now it's over to Jackson in the corner. Jackson, over to the top of the key. Send it back to Weingartner. Now back to Jackson. Jackson with 11 on the shot clock. Weingartner, go inside. Now back out to Weingartner for 3, and that is an air ball. Schreck, though, with great hustle as he gets it back in bounds with the rebound. Jackson with a 3. That's no good. Weingartner with the rebound and then feeds it to Schreck for the first 2 of the season. And how about this? Olivet is taking its first time out of the season, and we still got 19:25 left to play in the first half.
No, he's clearly not happy with what he saw Coach Ernst down there, and he should be upset. A shot from Weingartner looked like it was in a good area, not a bad shot or anything, just completely missed everything. No one goes and gets the ball. Schreck hustles, gets to Jackson, then Jackson standing at the three-point arc with 4 seconds left in the shot clock. No one even ran out towards Jackson. He shoots one up, misses. No one boxes out on the rebound. Weingartner walks right into the lane, and no one comes on the help side to guard Schreck. So really 4 times they failed defensively in the same sequence, and that's why you see the timeout, Charlie.
Well, and you also have to give Schreck credit on that play. Great hustle. He is going to be that key, that glue for the Capital men's basketball program this season. So, early on, it is Capital 2, Olivet nothing. 19:22 remaining in the first half. Now Olivet is on the offensive side for the first time today. Jordan Terry will pass it over to Ewing. Ewing now driving towards the lane. Floater in the lane. That's no good, but the putback is good for Kyle Emery. Tied at 2.
Both teams miss a box out on the backside in their first defensive possessions there.
Tyrell Jackson over to Schreck. Schreck crosses the timeline. Capital will now enter into its half-court set. Weingartner on the left wing, driving. Now out to Jackson. Jackson will kick it back out. Schreck for 3, and he knocks it down.
And it looks like Olivet defensively, they're crashing into a lot of double teams and trying to play a trap even in the half court. They're going to need to make those outside shots, make it hurt.
Capital 5, Olivet 2. 18:35 remaining in the first half. Foul called on the floor, and it looks like it's going to go against Capital. Looks like the culprit will be Nate Boone, freshman out of Watterson, Ohio. Attended Bishop Watterson here in the Columbus area. Isn't that where Urban Meyer's son goes?
It might be true.
And a steal, a near steal, and now it results in a turnover for Olivet. It'll be Capital ball.
And something I learned in that sequence there, it came after the whistle, but Krazan took a three-pointer from outside, and it went in. Krazan's heading to the bench now, but keep an eye on that later in this game. If he can shoot from the outside, the 6'7" shooter.
Krazan will exit for Olivet. Coming in will be Quentin Way, the 6'4" junior out of Mason, Michigan. Jackson quickly feeds it ahead to Weingartner. Weingartner drives in, off glass, no good. Tip back, no good as well for Tyler Jamison. And Olivet comes away with the rebound.
A lot of contact there on the layup from Weingartner.
Jordan Terry, and point guard duties for Olivet tonight. Dribbling to his left is Terry, still with the basketball. Now a foul called on the floor, and it looks like it's going to go against Nate Boone. And I think that's already his second foul of the game.
Second foul. Coach doesn't look like he's getting ready to put anyone in for him, but someone on the side of the bench got to let him know. Now looks like the sub is coming in.
So the sub will come in for Capital. All right, Jimmy. I'm going to say this very slowly. Ganayu Yahaya. I think that's pretty good for a first time.
Sounded good to me. We'll get it throughout the season.
Yahaya, a 6'4" freshman out of Allen, Kentucky, enters the ball game for Capital. Jackson will now feed it ahead to Weingartner. Weingartner streaking up the floor, finishes with the left hand.
He's a talented scorer, Charlie. He did airball that first shot, maybe a little bit of first night jitters, but I think he's going to be a key player offensively tonight.
Capital 7, Olivet 2, 17:45 remaining in the first half. Ewing driving, spinning, ball will find the bottom of the net.
Good defense that time, just an easy layup.
7-4 now in favor of Capital. Schreck trying to navigate. And his press defense gets it over to Jackson, who crosses the timeline. Now over to Schreck, swings it over. Three-pointer on the way. Weingartner misses. A near rebound that time by Yahaya, but he's not able to bring it down, and Olivet comes away with the rebound.
Interesting that they took out a tall player with Boone at 6'7", and replaced him with Yahaya, who is listed at 6'4" and a forward, but they lost a lot of their size already.
Ewing with a shot. That is no good. Way off the mark, and Jamison pulls down the rebound for Capital. Now here comes Schreck up the court. Schreck had to momentarily pause. Weingartner inside. Yahaya scores off the rim.
That overactive defense again, it just allows too easy of an opportunity.
Capital 9, Olivet 4, 16:39 remaining in the first half. Handling the ball is Jordan Terry. Terry on the right wing, being guarded by Schreck. Terry will now go back out to midcourt. Now he'll try to drive, and he was hip checked by Jamison that time. Already 3 fouls on Capital early on, first of the game for Jamison. And now coming in for Olivet will be Zach Walker, 6'1" senior out of Lanesburg, Michigan. Capital 9, Olivet 4. 16:26 left to play in the first half. This is Capital basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. Zach Walker. So he'll be handling the point guard duties here, at least for the time being. Passes over to Emery on the right wing. 17 on the shot clock. Walker driving towards the hoop, and Walker is met by a wall.
A lot of body there, and it seems like the refs are just letting him play right now, Charlie.
Weingartner, jumper in the lane, and it switches through for Joey.
4 for him, or 6 for him now, actually, excuse me, after the air ball 3 to start his night.
Capital 11, Olivet 4, 15:49 remaining in the first half. R.J. Haas, he'll pass it off. Thinking about a 3 was Jurius Schumpert. Then he pulls back and passes off to Ewing. Now in the corner, three-pointer on the way for Haas. Haas rims out, and Schreck grabs the rebound for Capital. Schreck now is bumped as he was attempting to go across the timeline. Bumped by Eric Ewing, senior out of Harper Woods, Michigan.
Looks like both big guys can step out and shoot from 3, Charlie. Haas was 4 for 14 last year. Krazan was 21 for 90 himself.
Now Thomas Zakitsis, 6'3" sophomore out of Thessaloniki, Greece.
And we are getting thrown right into the fire today.
Yeah, when it comes to pronunciations. Jamison on the inside. What a great find by Ganayu Yahaya. Should have done some tongue twisters and all that good stuff before tonight's ball game. Holy yo. As far as my tongue's not twisted by now. Zach Walker on the right wing being guarded by Shrek. Poked away. Shrek almost with a fantastic steal after it was poked away by Yahaya. And now Jamison going up for a rebound. A foul now called against Olivet. I believe they're going to get R.J. Haas on this play. Actually, they got Zakitsis on the foul. And now coming in for Olivet, Chris Krazan.
He came out really early, Charlie. He did pick up a foul, but actually he didn't even pick up a foul when he came out. He only played about a minute and a half and then went to the bench.
Olivet, a lot like Capital, just trying to figure out what they have here to begin the season. Jackson, meanwhile, he got bumped, this time by Zach Walker. And the second foul on Olivet. 14:50 remaining in the first half. After off to a nice start, they're leading Olivet 13-4 here at the Capitol Center. Charlie Danis and Jimmy Bloomfield bringing the action tonight from Bexley, Ohio. Hard to believe that it was already basketball season, but that is the case. Jackson over to Geisy, who checks in for the first time tonight for Capital. Jackson now has to chase it down. It was touched by an Olivet player, so no over and back for Capital. 25 on the shot clock. Into Geisy. Geisy from the corner for three. That's no good. And Jamison loses it off his hands. Out of bounds, but it will still be Capital basketball.
Another three-point shot that didn't find the rim. And the ball went in behind the bleachers, so that's the reason for the slight delay right now. As Zakitsis had to go underneath and try to find it. He did.
Attaboy, Thomas. 13-4, Capital leading the Comets of Olivet. 14:26 remaining in the first half.
Olivet just 2 of 8 from the field, Charlie. We mentioned their inability to score last season at an efficient rate. 25% from the field, continuing that trend. Capital, on the other hand, 6 for 11. If you take out the three-pointers, they're 5 for 7.
Only 1 of 4 from downtown so far for Capital, good for 25%. Tyrell Jackson will inbound it from below the basket. Jackson looking over his options, finally gets it into Jamison. And Jamison looks like he got pushed by Zach Walker.
It's already 4 fouls, 14:24, so not even 6 minutes have gone off the clock.
Substitution now for Olivet as R.J. Haas will come in for Zakitsis. Now coming in for Capital will be Caleb Mitchell, a 6'7" sophomore out of Urbana, also coming in for Capital. Saw a lot of this guy last year. 6'4" sophomore out of Milford, Ohio, Mr. Will Hanna.
See how Hanna adjusts to coming off the bench this year, Charlie.
Geisy will inbound it from the far side. And nearly stolen away, but Yahaya gets it back. Yahaya drives in, misses a layup, and it is a rebound for Olivet. Olivet now coming back offensively as they get it over to Zach Walker. Walker will now pull back out to half court with 20 on the shot clock. Walker over to the left corner. 3 ball. That is no good. Yahaya nearly had a rebound. Now it's grabbed by Hanna. And now Geisy's going to be fouled. Are they going to get Zach Walker again for a foul?
It's either 12 or 22. I think they got 22 Kyle Emery there. It is his first. But man, the positioning of the feet, you got to get in front of these guys. You can't just use your body. The officials just calling it every time right now. That's already 5 fouls. They're 2 away from a bonus.
Geisy driving on in, kicks it back out to Hanna. Swung around to Weingartner. Weingartner, jumper, good for Joey.
Looks like Olivet switched it up from that half-court trap. They're moving more into a traditional zone. Still a lot of holes in it, though.
Meanwhile, Joey Weingartner with 8 points early on. He's helped Capital jump out to a 15-4 lead. Air ball and a rebound grab by Yahaya. It's going to take me some time. It's going to take me some time to figure out that name. Meanwhile,
another foul. Getting ridiculous. 6 fouls now. They're a foul away from the bonus. 13-25.
I was going to say they have more fouls than points up on the scoreboard.
That's another good observation. They haven't scored in over 4 minutes as well. It's been 4 minutes and 15 seconds since their last field goal.
Capital 15, Olivet 4. 13:20 remaining in the first half here at the Capitol Center. Hanna, top of the arc. Now to the right side. Over to Weingartner. Weingartner dribbles in. Jumper from the foul line. Won't rattle in. And a rebound taken by R.J. Haas of Olivet. Now it's over to Kyle Emery. Emery will now pull it back out to Zach Walker. Walker being guarded by Geisy. 20 on the shot clock. Walker now goes to the right wing in the form of Kyle Emery. Emery dribbles in. Loses the ball out of bounds. Turnover for Olivet. Capital basketball.
Really good start to the season at this point. The defenses look pretty good. Olivet not really taking care and bailing their possessions. They haven't really turned it over too much. This is just their second turnover. But they have not shot efficiently. They've taken a lot of bad shots as well.
Kirk Geisy. Still trying to figure out this trap defense. His hand gets it back to Geisy. Geisy has the ball go off his hands, but feeds it ahead now to Weingartner. Weingartner inside and wasn't able to finish the deal with Caleb Mitchell. Boy, if he had gotten it to Caleb Mitchell, I don't know, maybe the big fella might have had a chance to jam that one home.
Yeah, he probably slams that one down. He's got a very similar build to Joe Thomas last year, and I'm assuming they're going to use him in a similar role as well, Charlie.
The Bell Fountain High School in Urbana, Ohio, Caleb Mitchell did. 15-4 in favor of Capital. Another missed shot, loose ball, and it is going to be a putback, this time for R.J. Haas.
Trying to come up with that ball was Hanna. He dribbled it away from his body, trying to get possession of it. Another careless turnover almost.
Yahasa.
Put a foul there from behind on Walker, I think.
So foul will be on Olivet.
Careless pass at midfield, and Yahaya was able to pick it up. It looks like he kicked it off his shins, but he was fouled by Walker before then.
And look at this line substitution.
Timeout called by Olivet.
We'll take a timeout as well. 12:15 remain in the first half. It's Capital 15, Olivet 6 here on your home for Crusader men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network. .15 remaining in the first half. It is Capital 15, Olivet 6, the season opener for both of these men's basketball programs. And now at the line is Ganayu Yahaya. Yahaya, the Kentucky native, puts it up, and it is good. You know, Jimmy, I was watching some film on Yahaya the other night just to get a feel for his game and stuff like that. This guy is athletic. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Chuck English.
He's looked really good tonight. He's kind of playing an undersized 4 right now on the floor.
Yahaya's second free throw good.
As you say, making his free throws. It's good to see. And he'll take a seat now for Chukran getting his first playing time.
Yahaya with 4 points so far in this ball game. And Capital leading Olivet 17-6. 12-10 remaining in the first half. Walker, meanwhile, at the top of the arc for Olivet. Swinging on over to Terry. Terry towards midcourt. Terry now being hounded by a couple of Capital defenders. He'll now drive in off the glass, no good. And a whistle, foul. Let's see here. Foul will go against Capital.
It's going to be on Chukran for a push. It's kind of just a lazy foul. A lot of players not getting into position on both sides, and that's leading to a lot of fouls in this game. And that's something to adjust already in the first game. First 9 minutes of it.
So in other words, it's looking like the first game for both of these teams. As a 3 rattles home for Eric Ewing.
No closeout whatsoever there. Ewing goes to the perimeter off of the inbounds pass, and no one even checked him.
Jackson, pass inside, and the finish by Caleb Mitchell.
Didn't slam it down there. went off the glass, but putting himself in a position to score. Nice job there.
He went with the sure play. 19-9. Capital leading Olivet with under 11 and a half to play in the first half. Walker, top of the arc, being guarded by Gavin Wildermuth, who has checked in for Capital. And Brennan Chupran's also in there as well. Rattles in and out, and Jackson grabs the rebound for Capital. Double team. He's able to get it over to Schreck. Schreck dribbling around, and double team once again. Now to Jackson. Jackson to Chupran. Back outside to Schreck. Schreck will go outside. Wildermuth for three. That is no good, and the rebound is taken by Eric Ewing.
Shot's going to be here all night, Charlie. They're going to have to knock that thing down.
Ewing has his pocket picked by Schreck. Schreck across half court. Schreck down the lane. Schreck with the floater, and it's good for Schreck.
Didn't really see that from him last year too much.
Capital 21, Olivet 9.
The floater, that is, the defense was there, of course.
And off to Walker. Walker trying to drive the lane against Wildermuth. He's cut off around the foul line. Now he gets it on over to his big man, Krzan. Krzan, jumper, no good. And the rebound taken by Schreck. Schreck will now slow things up a little bit as Capital gets set to run a half-court offense. Schreck still out towards half court. A lot of contact between Schreck and Terry, then a late whistle, and then a late charge call against Schreck.
Actually called over and back there because he lost possession of the ball, but it did look like contact. I agree. Probably should have been a foul called.
As it stands right now, Olivet with 7 fouls, Capital with 4. Capital leading big time on the scoreboard, however, 21-9. 10-11 left to play in the first half.
Zach Walker with 3 fouls, by the way, for Olivet. He just checked back out of the game. In terms of foul trouble for Capital, just a 2 for Nate Boone in the first minute or two. And everyone else is doing a nice job staying out of that.
Jordan Terry over to Quentin Way. Way checking in for the first time today, by the way, 6'4" junior out of Mason, Michigan. Drive towards the lane. Now another foul. Looks like they're going to get Schreck as he was trying to defend against Jordan Terry.
That's Austin's first foul. 4th for the team.
And now a substitution here for Olivet. Coming in, Zakitsis, the Greek native. Not to be confused with the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Capital would have their hands full with him tonight, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so. Jordan Terry. Zakitsis. Zakitsis hands off to Haas. Haas with a three-pointer. That's no good, and the rebound taken by Schreck.
4 for 18 from the field now, Charlie.
Schreck will now head up court. They'll go inside. Chupran, double team, and it is a steal for Olivet. Nice play that time by Kyle Emery. Jordan Terry now handling the ball for the Comets. Now towards midcourt. Now he'll go inside to Haas. Haas dribbling around inside the foul line. Turnaround jumper, no good. A rebound taken by Tyrell Jackson of Capital. Over to Schreck. Schreck on the inside, twisting, turning, and a blocking foul is going to be called against Olivet. The culprit, R.J. Haas.
Ooh, that's going to be Haas. That's his first, actually.
Haas, a senior out of Albion, Michigan. Defending against Schreck, the 6'3" sophomore out of Erlanger, Kentucky. And his prep ball at Dixie Heights High School. So Schreck will now head to the free throw line tonight. Right-handed shooter, and he misses.
I was going to say, too, Charlie, that's a part of his game that he really needs to improve on. Last year was 53 for 84 from the free throw line, second most attempts on the team, but shot just 63% from the line. That's a lot of empty trips to the free throw line.
Eric Ewing now checking in for Olivet. Had a chance to talk with Austin Schreck last year, and he was a big UC Bearcats fan growing up. Really idolized Coach Bob Huggins during those glory years that he had with the Bearcats. And boys, man, those were some great teams that Huggins had during his time at UC. Capital 21, Olivet 9 with 8:53 left to play in the first half. Eric Ewing drives, kick out to Zakitsis. Zakitsis will now drive. Another kick out, this time to Terry. Terry with the floater. That's no good. Putback. That's not good as well. Another putback. That's not good for Terry. Now there's a battle for the loose ball. Is Ewing finally going to get it in? No, but he was fouled.
It's going to go against I thought it was going to go to Chukram, but it looks like they gave it to Jamison instead. That's going to be his second.
So now Eric Ewing, the senior from Harper Woods, Michigan, will go to the line. 6 foul on Capital so far in the first half. 8 for Olivet to this point.
Ewing is leading the way right now for Olivet with 5 points, but he is 2 for 8 from the field, Charlie.
First shot by Ewing, no good. Bounces out the front rim. Slew of substitutions now for Capital. Caleb Mitchell will be coming in. Also, Ganayu Yahaya will be coming in for Capital as well.
Ewing a 70% free throw shooter last year, but it looked like he stepped over the. Are they going to kind of call it against Zakitsis here?
So a lane violation. Boy, that's got to be frustrating for Steve Ernst's crew.
I thought they were going to call it on Ewing for stepping over the free throw line, but he pointed at Zakitsis.
Kirk Geisey also back in for Capital. 8.5 to play in the first half. It's Capital 21, Olivet 9. Feeded ahead. Yahaya not able to receive the pass. It's tipped up in the air, and Olivet comes away with a steal. To the other end is Kyle Emery. Emery on the right wing now passes it back out to Jordan Terry. Terry, the Lansing, Michigan native, being guarded by Geisey. Now it's back over to Emery on the right wing. Emery will let it rip from 3. That is no good, and the rebound taken by Yahaya. Yahaya now over to Geisey. Geisey has his pocket pick. And now it's an easy layup for Kyle Emery, and a timeout. It's going to be taken by Capital. 8 minutes left to go in the first half. Capital 21 and Olivet 11. You're on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network. Eight minutes left to play in the first half. It's Capital leading Olivet by a score of 21-11. Alongside Jimmy Bloomfield, I'm Charlie Danis. This is a season opener between both these squads. They go back inside and they find a wide open Caleb Mitchell. Second time that Mitchell has gotten loose during the breaking of that Olivet press, Jimmy.
Yeah, they gave Olivet an easy 2, and then they got 2 right back. And that last sequence where Geisey got the ball taken away from him, he didn't have any help in the backcourt. Yahaya was supposed to stay back and help him, I think, and that's where the miscommunication happened.
Capital 23, Olivet 11. Approaching 7.5 to play in the first half. Terry driving, cut off now. Now has to kick it back out to Kyle Emery. Emery, a little behind the back. Nifty shifty move right there as he passes it off to Jordan Terry. Terry, he's now going to heave it with 1 second on the shot clock, and it's going to be a shot clock violation on Olivet.
Never hit the rim, it hit off the backboard and then missed the rim. Ewing was battling for an offensive rebound, but an easy call there for the officials.
7:20 left to play in the first half. Capital 23, Olivet 11. Geisey gets it into Yahaya. And Yahaya was bumped along the near side. Looks like they're going to give the foul to Kyle Emery.
Yeah, I think that's right. He should be shooting now, 1-1. Next foul gets him into double bonus too, Charlie.
So Yahaya will go to the free throw line. Yahaya, a freshman from Allen, Kentucky.
He's having a good night so far. 4 points, 2 rebounds. Weingartner leading the way with 8 points. And Jackson has the most rebounds with 5, actually.
A little bit of everything for Capital here tonight. First free throw is good. Well, that took a high bounce off the rim. Now back off the backcourt. By the way, folks, want to remind you, coming up, we'll have the Rusty Bucket halftime show for you. Take a look at scores around the OAC, tell you what transpired in the first half, and more. That is the Rusty Bucket halftime show coming up, obviously, at halftime. Second free throw is good.
Don't forget the women are in action later tonight at 7:30, so a little bit of a later start for them. They're at Wittenberg tonight.
Correct. And they kind of find themselves in the same situation as Capital in that a lot of young faces and perhaps a lot of growing pains this year. Three-pointer, way off the mark. Yahaya chases for the rebound, but Capital not able to secure it. They get it back out to Eric Ewing. So now Olivet will reset, and boy, wow, Kyle Emery was upset that he did not get the ball that time, and now a foul is going to be called against Olivet.
Howell going up to Coach Goodwin, getting a high five. Didn't have any teammates near him, so he went to the coach.
Boy, meanwhile, Kyle Emery for Olivet kind of gave it to his teammate Ewing a little bit, like, give me the ball.
Yeah, he wanted the ball for sure, no doubt about that.
6:51 left to play in the first half. Capital 25, Olivet 11. Geisy getting set to inbound for Capital.
Another delay. It's the officials were not on the right spot on the floor.
So all about positioning. Geisy trying to get it in. Gets it into Yahaya. Now it's over to Geisy, who quickly feeds it ahead to Jackson. And a bounce pass. That is not the type of play the Capital was looking for right there, as Olivet comes away with the steal. Three-pointer on the way for Ewing, and Ewing is not able to knock it down. Caleb Mitchell grabs the rebound for Capital. Now it's Jackson. Cross half court. Geisy spinning around before finally getting it over to Weingartner. Now inside, and the layup is no good. Although Mitchell gets it back momentarily, but he has his pocket pick. A steal for Olivet. Ewing now on the left wing. Walker for Olivet. Now towards midcourt. Being guarded by Geisy. Walker spinning around the lane. Now kicks it back out to Emery. Emery, three-pointer on the way. That's no good. A rebound taken by Yahaya.
He is not afraid to shoot, Charlie.
No, he is not. Geisy, cross half court. Now inside. Out to Weingartner. Weingartner for three. That's no good for Joey. And the rebound is taken by Olivet.
1 for 6 from outside now for Capital.
Meanwhile, Zach Walker. And switch things up defensively. Tyrell Jackson now on Walker. Three-pointer on the way for Olivet. That one is no good by Aaron Washington, the 6-foot senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
1 for 12 from 3 on the other side of the court for Olivet.
Capital 25, Olivet 11. 5:22 remaining in the first half. Three-pointer on the way, and it's good for Tyrell Jackson.
Two open. Tyrell will knock it down. He's the best shooter on this team, I'd say. That is his specialty.
Capital 28, Olivet 11. 5:09 remaining in the first half. Walker will hand off to Ewing. Ewing now dribbling around to his right. Finally hands off to Washington. Washington now back to Walker. Walker driving in. And it's almost taken away by Yahaya. Goes out of bounds, and it will still be Olivet ball. And now let's see here. Nate Boone will be coming back in for Capital, as will Will Hanna. And we get to see Dan Obel for the first time. Obel, a 6-foot freshman from Brecksville, Ohio.
We've got like 6 players on top of each other on this inbound here.
PJ Trammell, 5'10" junior from Holland, Michigan, will come in for Olivet.
RJ Haas is kind of stiff-arming Will Hanna right now from getting inside positioning there. And the official just tells him he needs to let Hanna get in between him and his guy. It's almost like a soccer free kick right now with the players positioning and referees saying you can't go there, can't go there. And they're actually telling Haas to back up and give Hanna even more room.
Inbound from the baseline, and now a foul going to be called against Olivet.
That's going to be on Haas. That's an easy call. They had been telling him the entire sequence to calm down, let Hanna get his positioning, and then he just lowered a shoulder into his back. Hanna goes to the ground, and an easy call for the officials.
Jackson will get it over to Obel. To Hanna, back to Obel. Obel will flip it on over to Weingartner. Weingartner for three. That's good for Joey.
He might be a better shooter than Tyrell, too. That's a nice little 1-2 punch developing for Capital.
Capital 31, Olivet 11. Now Capital up by 20 here, approaching 4.5 to play in the first half. Damian Bennett, who was recently checked in, dribbling the ball around. Now a foul called against Capital, I presume.
Weingartner gets hit with the block. Weingartner also has 11 points tonight, Charlie, tying all of Olivet right now.
Joey Weingartner, 5 of 10 from the field, only 1 of 4 from three-point range, so we got to see his first three-point bucket of the night moments ago. And now heading to the free throw line for Olivet is Damian Bennett, who is a 6'2" freshman from Winsboro, Louisiana. This is the free throw, and Hanna comes away with a rebound. Ahead to Jackson. Jackson Driving the lane now, pulls up, jumper, good for Tyrell.
Jackson's got 8 and 5 now all of a sudden with 2 assists.
Capital 33, Olivet 11. Quentin Way dribbling around. Actually, PJ Trammell, excuse me. Pass it off to Jordan Terry. And now let's see here, another foul. Is this going to go against Olivet?
Yeah, offensive foul against Trammell. No check out now for Matt Subject.
That's a very interesting last name. Subject, 5'10" junior out of Leslie, Michigan. Hobble feeds it ahead to Will Hanna. Hanna to Weingartner, to Jackson. Jackson to Weingartner. Back to Jackson to the top of the arc. Tyrell thought about it for a moment, but goes back over to Joey. Over to Will. Jackson for 3. Tyrell, no good. Loose ball. And Abel comes away with the floater and hits the floater.
He gets the points, but it's really Hanna who gets the assist there on the rebound, knocking it right to him in a high percentage area.
And now a timeout is going to be taken by Olivet. We will step aside as well. 3:39 remain in the first half. Capital leading Olivet 35-11. Here on your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network. .39 remaining in the first half. And boy, it's been a good night for Capital thus far. The Crusaders leading the Comets of Olivet 35-11. Taking a quick look at the stats here. Jimmy, Capital shooting 56% from the field. Could be shooting a little better from three-point range, but they got a big game out of Joey Weingartner. Tyrell Jackson's also been having a nice game. Weingartner with 11 points, Jackson with 8.
Yeah, and they are 3 for 7 from outside. The target that we set for them is about 36% this season. They're at 33 right now, so they're one made 3 away from the target, so they're in an okay spot there. Started off slow at 1 for 7, or I think it was 1 for 6, and then they heated up a little bit and then missed their last shot. Olivet, they really need to find a way to score. 5 for 27 right now, 1 for 12 from outside.
Terry on the right wing, being guarded by Abel. Terry twisting and turning some more before he finally gets it off to a teammate. Now they go inside, and it's off the glass and good for Olivet.
I didn't see a ref counting. That was very close to 5 seconds, if you ask me.
Jerry Shumpert with the made bucket for Olivet. Now Hanna back out to Abel. Now to Hanna. And now a traveling violation against Hanna.
Good defensive pressure there.
3:07 remain in the first half. Capital 35, Olivet 13. Just want to remind you, coming up, it's the Bucket Halftime Show. Take a look at scores around the OAC and break down all the stats at halftime. Jumper is good for Olivet.
Don't be so surprised, Charlie. Little 4-0 run for Olivet. Good timeout, obviously, with Coach Ernst.
Handling the ball now for Capital's doing Weingartner. Weingartner on the left wing. Over to Abel. Now back to Weingartner. Now it's back to good old Dan. Now to Tyrell. Here comes Will down the lane. Nope, now it's over to Weingartner. Weingartner for 3, and Joey knocks it down from the corner.
He's now got 14 first half points.
Joey Weingartner, the 6-foot sophomore from Centerville, Ohio, having a game for Capital so far.
I'm not all that surprised by it either, Charlie. That was the guy that we kind of said would carry the load for them offensively, and he's done that tonight. Tyrell Jackson has stepped up as well.
Capital 38, Olivet 15. Loose ball, but Olivet is able to recover it. Picking it up is Griffin Lewis, the 6-foot sophomore out of Morris, Michigan. Now Terry, and it's picked off by Weingartner. Weingartner will simply pass back to Hanna now, and now over to Jackson. Ahead to Abel. Abel to Weingartner. Weingartner dribbles in, floater, no good. And the rebound taken by Olivet in the form of Damian Bennett. Now it's fed ahead to Terry. Three-pointer from the right wing, and it is good for Matt Subject.
Tough shot.
38-18, Capital leading Olivet with a minute and a half remaining in the first half. It's been a good first half for Capital to this point, especially offensively. Weingartner on the left wing. Now back out to Abel. Abel marking out signals. Still at half court. Over to Jackson on the right wing. Tyrell with 11 on the shot clock. He'll drive in. Now kick it back out to Abel. Abel now back out to Hannah on the left wing. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Will dribbles in. Back out to Abel. Over to Joey. Weingartner for three. That's no good. And the rebound taken by Shumpert. Now it's over to Terry. Terry will pull up for three. That's no good. And Joey Weingartner comes away with the rebound for Capital. Fed ahead to Jackson. Almost tipped. Jackson with the floater in the lane. That's good.
That's like the 6th or 7th floater they've had. Right inside the painted area or right outside of it on the elbow. They've all gone down pretty much for Capital.
42 seconds and counting in the first half. Capital leading Olivet 40-18. Subject in the corner. That is an air ball. Did not even graze iron that time as Hannah gets the rebound. And now it's going to be held by Dan Abel, the freshman out of Brecksville, Ohio. Right now he's running the point for Capital. He's out towards midcourt. 21 seconds and counting in the first half. 13 on the shot clock. Abel passes it around to Jackson. Jackson back to Abel. Abel back to Jackson on the right wing. And a timeout is going to be taken by Capital. We got 11.7 seconds remaining in the first half and 7 seconds remaining on the shot clock as Damon Goodwin calls this timeout. Well, Jimmy, what are you thinking here?
Well, that's the old use it or lose it timeout, so Goodwin will draw something up here. Looks like Yahawa is going to come back into the game as well. And we'll see what they do out of the timeout. I'm sure they'll try to set up one of their shooters from outside. Chukran's going to check in as well. It looks like as he headed to the scorer's table. It's been a good half, like you said. 55% from the field, 36% from outside, which was the target we set for them. So that's a nice start to the season there. In terms of the rebounding, 23-14. They've had 19 defensive rebounds, so they're boxing out on all these missed shots from Olivet. And that's good to see, allowing just 4 offensive rebounds on the other side. Olivet, though, has forced 8 turnovers, and Capital has forced just 4.
Meanwhile, Joey Weingartner leading Capital in scoring with 14 points. Tyrell Jackson not that far behind with 10 points on the night. So certainly those two have been impressive for Capital. You know who else has been impressive? Ganayu Yahaya. 6 points on the day for the freshman from Allen, Kentucky. 1 of 2 from the field and a perfect 4 of 4 from the foul line as well for Yahaya.
He's looked really good. The defense, again, I mean, Olivet is throwing up a lot of poor shots, but the defense is boxing out, first off, and secondly, they're forcing Olivet into taking some of these shots as well. It's not all bad decision-making. Some of it is the bad decision-making, but other parts of it are the fact that they're just not taking good looks from the floor because Capital's not letting them.
11.7 seconds remain in the first half. 5 on the shot clock with Capital leading Olivet 40-16. Inside to Weingartner. Weingartner, turnaround jumper, no good. And the rebound taken by Olivet. Now driving is Matt Subject. 3-pointer at the buzzer. That is no good for Griffin Lewis. That is how the first half will end. At the end of the first half, it is Capital 40 and Olivet 18. Coming up, we'll have the Rusty Bucket halftime show for you, taking a look at scores around the OAC and examining the stats from said first half. This is your home for Crusaders men's basketball, the Capital Sports Network.
Yeah, Craig Prince.
Molecular,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing easy.
I can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really, basically he was a rocket scientist.
Right, he played football.
There's some people that really don't have to study and just have some there's other people who have to study, stuff,
Is what it is.
But, kids change their minds on how to do that.
Right.
Is your daughter in college then?
She's already graduated. She's already a teacher.
Where is she?
Yeah.
Where she teach at?
Martin Ferry, the same place where my office is at.
Okay.
She actually just bought a house in half a mile from the Ross. I mean, a lot of work for me. I've been working at her house every weekend, putting doors and windows in. We just finished last weekend. I was like, good thing we're done now. Now I got to trim them out on the inside. I said, that's going to be just Sundays from here on out.
Yeah.
I'll try to have you done for Christmas. There's no more Saturdays. That's good.
We just had our daughter move back from Virginia 2 years ago.
She graduated a semester early. She graduated in 3.5 years. She always would be mad running. She always was a B plus student. He kept up with me. But he was a little Tory, a little black. He only got one B all 4 years of high school. His sophomore year. His sophomore year, he only got one B in his last year.
Yeah, Brittany, your daughter, she was a valedictorian in the football. Went to Wright State. Graduated
Wright State?
Wright State. And then she went to Duke University.
Oh wow, she got to be smart to get down there.
And there she went to Virginia Commonwealth and got her, she's a doctor in nursing offices. And she was working in Virginia. I heard her husband, my grandkids went back to our place. I don't know what.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still don't feel like I'm that old. But I guess I am.
Two grandkids.
Yeah. Well, my daughter's boyfriend has a kid. So we treat her like she's a grandkid, but technically it's not.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That is fine.
Yeah. Yep.
So you gotta say,
I keep getting grayer and grayer, and she's having to get stronger and stronger glasses.
me too.
Welcome back to the Capitol Center. Welcome into the Rusty Bucket Halftime Show. Alongside Jimmy Bloomfield, I'm Charlie Danis. Well, a very productive first half for Capitol, as the scoreboard indicates the Crusaders ahead by a wide margin, 40-18, over the comments of Olivet. Before we delve into the stats of this game, let's get you caught up with scores around the OAC. There is only one other game that is being played at the moment. The Muskies of Muskingum are playing host to Kenyon tonight.
Starting up at 7, actually.
Okay, well so that game will be starting up in about 15 minutes or so. Other games that are on tap around the OAC, Marietta will be playing host to La Roche. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Baldwin Wallace will be on the road. They're going to be up in Cleveland. Well, obviously they're going to be up in Cleveland. That's where they're mainly located. But they're going to be at Case Western Reserve at 7:30. Wilmington plays host to Mount St. Joseph. And finally, Ohio Northern. They're on the road. They are taking on Alma at 8 o'clock. Some games that will be starting up in mere moments at the Division I level, meanwhile. Number 13, Michigan State will be taking on number 2, Kentucky. Number 18, Syracuse will play host to Holy Cross. Number 8, Virginia will play host to St. Francis of Brooklyn at 7 o'clock. Number 5, North Carolina, playing host to Long Beach State. Number 9, Wisconsin. They're on the road tonight, or actually, they're going to be taking on Creighton in the Gavitt tip-off games in New York. Taking on number 22, Creighton. Coming up at 9:30 tonight, number 7, Kansas will be playing number 1, Duke. Everybody's prognosticating number 1 heading into the year. Coach K with another strong team there out in Durham. And finally, number 10, Arizona, taking on CSU Bakersfield. That has been your OAC scoreboard update, brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs and Sandwiches. So let's now take a look at the halftime stats, brought to you by Plank's Cafe. And boy, Jimmy, a lot of good stats for Capital. Let's first start with the performances of that first half from Joey Weingartner and Tyrell Jackson.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of role players on this team, and some guys on this team are going to need to step up their points per game from last year. And those two, the main two, are Weingartner and Jackson. Weingartner averaged just 4 points a game last year, started just 3 games for him. He was a transfer that kind of molded into the season as it went on and really found his stride towards the end of the year. And we really see him take off at the start of this game. And Jackson himself had just 3 points a game last season. So they have already just multiplied that output. Today, with Weingartner 6 for 14 from the field, 14 points, 2 steals, 2 rebounds, 2 for 6 from outside, and Jackson 4 for 6, 2 for 3 from outside, 5 rebounds, 10 points, 2 assists, just 1 turnover, and those guys played an average of 17 minutes each.
Taking a look at the rest of the stats for Capital, Tyler Jamison with 2 points and 4 rebounds. Austin Schreck with 2 points and 3 rebounds. 4 points and 2 rebounds for Caleb Mitchell. 3 rebounds for Will Hanna. Still has yet to crack the score column. 6 points and 3 rebounds for Danayu Yahaya. And 2 points and 1 rebound for Dan Abel. Capital shot 53.3% in the first half, only 36.4% from three-point range, 4 of 11, and 4 of 6 from the foul line, good for 66.7%. Meanwhile, for Olivet, a lot of offensive struggles for the Comets. Eric Ewing and Matt Subject tied for the team lead in points scored with 5. 2 points for R.J. Haas, 2 points each for Jordan Terry and Kyle Emery, and 2 points for Jerry Shumpert. And that's it for Olivet when it comes to scoring the basketball. Comets shot 8 of 32 from the field in the first half, 25%. They were a miserable 2 of 15 from three-point range, good for 13.3%. And they have yet to hit a free throw in this game, 0 of 2 from the foul line. Again, Jimmy, nowhere to go but up for this Olivet squad that won a grand total of 3 total games last year. And it's kind of showed in that first half.
Yeah, they've just thrown up a lot of bad shots, just to be frank about it. Some of that is because of Capital's defense. Some of that is just due to poor decision making. And you look at Eric Ewing, 2 for 10 from the field, 1 for 6 from outside. Haas is 1 for 5. And just, there's not a whole lot of efficiency anywhere. Matt Subject has been their most efficient player at 2 for 3 from the field, and he threw up an air ball himself as well. So there just hasn't really been anything consistently offensively for them. 25% from the field, 13.3 from 3. Obviously not numbers that are going to win anything for you.
Who's your halftime hero?
I guess you got to give it to Weingartner the way he played, but I do like the way that Yahawa came off the bench as well with the 6 points and 3 rebounds. 4 of that came at the free throw line, but we're not going to just discount that because he knocked them down, and that's something that Capital didn't do last year from the free throw line. They were, as a team, just under 70%, which is not terrible, but you'd like to see them in the mid-70s there from the free throw line at least. They were 69.9%, so just probably 1 free throw away from 70% last year. So I would give it to Weingartner, but Yahawa's got to be an honorable mention playing in his first collegiate game here tonight.
Quick timeout here on the Rusty Bucket Halftime Show. Capital lead Olivet 40-18 at the half. Here on your home for Capital Men's Basketball, the Capital Sports Network. Welcome back to the Rusty Bucket Halftime Show. Capital lead Olivet 40-18 at the half. This is men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. Alongside Jimmy Bloomfield, I'm Charlie Dance. Jimmy, let's go ahead and revisit the keys that you had at the beginning of the night. I would imagine that Capital was executing their keys to perfection.
Yeah, well, we said first key was to not get, don't put too much weight into this very first game, and I think that you and I have done a good job avoiding that, so check that one off the list. Secondly, we talked about the emergence of a scorer. We're going to need that, and we've seen that with Weingartner as well as Jackson, so cross that one off the list as well. And the last was getting a presence inside, which we haven't really gotten to this point. There hasn't been a whole lot of post scoring, and the defense on the other side, they really haven't needed to do a lot of defending in the post because of the poor shot selection from Olivet. So that one, we're going to give, just kind of a let's see what happens here in this half to it. We're not going to check it off, but it certainly hasn't been a minus to this point either. They just really haven't had an opportunity there. So let's see if they try to establish themselves in the post a little bit here in the second half, especially up by 22. You'd expect them to eat a little bit more of the clock. The problem is with Olivet's defense is anything that goes inside, they're swarming it immediately and kicking it back out for three. So they're really just playing what Olivet wants them to and shooting from the outside, and they're knocking it on the shots right now. So they're kind of playing right the game that Olivet wants them to, and Capital's making them pay by making open shots.
We want to remind you folks that our first women's basketball broadcast is actually not going to be for a while.
Yeah.
Our first women's basketball broadcast will be Saturday, November 26th. It will be Crusaders hosting Mount Aloysius that afternoon. That game will tip off at 3 o'clock, and we'll get things started with the Crusaders pregame show at 3 o'clock. And meanwhile, for the men's team, Jimmy, it'll be even further than that when we see them next in action. We won't be seeing them after this game until the 29th of November. That's a Tuesday night. They're going to be hosting Wittenberg. An 8 p.m. tip-off, 7:30 pregame show, part of the NCAC OAC Challenge.
And then they've got the next home game is conference play already with Muskingum in the opener. I believe that's on the 8th of December. So right around the corner is conference play. We're here on opening night, and 3 weeks from now, we're in conference play already. It's crazy.
Teams are progressing very quickly as both teams progress themselves back to the court. It's Capital 40, Olivet 18. Welcome into this presentation of Capital Men's Basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. Alongside Jimmy Bloomfield, I'm Charlie Dance. We're glad to have you along for the ride. The season opener for Capital Men's Basketball program, and the women opening up tonight as well, Jimmy. As Walker drives in, loose ball, and taken by Boone. Weingartner, meanwhile, over to Schreck.
I was going to say, Boone got into foul trouble really early. We weren't able to see a lot of Boone in the first half. Let's see if they try to get him more involved here in half number 2.
Schreck, top of the arc, over to Tyrell. Jackson on the left wing, dribbling to his right. Now over to Schreck. 9 on the shot clock. Schreck over to Jackson. Back to Schreck. 6 on the shot clock. Schreck to Joey. Weingartner jacks up a 3, and he knocks it down.
That was just a shot at the end of the shot clock. The buzzer was about to go off there, so you had to just throw it up, and it went right in.
Capital 43, Olivet 18, just underway here in the second half. It's been all Capital to this point. Chris Krzan will drive in and score. Krzan, a senior from Monroe, Michigan.
That's his first basket of the night. Really haven't seen him establish himself until that point right there.
Schreck across the timeline. Back to Weingartner. Now over to Jamison. Jamison to Weingartner. Weingartner will dribble in. Back out to Schreck. Schreck dribbles in. Now back out to Jackson. Jackson, he'll go baseline. Back out to Schreck. 8 on the shot clock. Schreck now out towards half court. Jackson for 3. Tyrell not able to knock it down, but Weingartner's there for the rebound. Now back to Jackson. Jackson drives in, and he got fouled on his way to the 10, so he'll be heading to the charity stripe for a couple of foul shots.
Probably not the best shot selection. It was a very deep 3, but the advantage of the deep 3 is usually you're going to have a long rebound, and all of Olivet was crashed underneath, so that's why Weingartner easily gets that rebound, and then Jackson cuts to the hole. Weingartner gets it to him.
Jackson knocks down his first free throw of the night. Tyrell Jackson, we've been seeing him for a while. Former Dublin Kaufman product, former Shamrock. Now heading into his senior year at Capital. And I think very much like we were talking about Chuck English during the football season, Jimmy, Tyrell's all about Capital.
Absolutely, and it's good to see him having a big night here to start off his senior year. I think last year was a little bit of a disappointment for him with just 3 points per game. He only started 2 games from outside. He did shoot 28%, so I think a year that he is looking to forget and finish strong with his career here at Capital.
Emery gets it in, and the bucket is good for R.J. Haas, the senior out of Albion, Michigan.
And you brought up Chuck English for anyone not aware. Obviously, we have a different audience maybe with the basketball. Chuck, a player that we saw on the basketball team 2 years ago, actually played football this year here at Capital and was a big impact player for them down the last 4 games, had a couple of interceptions, and had the second longest interception return in school history.
99 yards against Baldwin Wallace. I will never forget that play as long as I live. Basket good. Capital now leading Olivet 47-22. 3-pointer on the way. That is no good for Krazan. A rebound taken by Capital. Schreck now looking to push it. Weingartner on the left wing being double teamed. Schreck on the inside to Boone. Inside, and the bucket is good for Tyler Jamison, the Chillicothe native.
That's a tough pass executed there by Boone from high post to low post past the 6'7" Krazan. And Jamison's looked nice in the transfer with 6 points already.
Capital 49, Olivet 22. Driving on in is Ewing, and he has his shot rejected. Weingartner to Jackson. Jackson driving in. Kick back out to Joey. Weingartner will go baseline. Now over to Jamison. Jamison twisting turning before he finally gets it back out to Schreck. 15 on the shot clock. Now over to Weingartner. Weingartner wide open, and he drains it.
Weingartner was calling for the ball for about 5 seconds, and they finally gave it to him. He knocks it down. And I do need to correct myself. Mitchell, the transfer. Obviously, Jamison, a freshman here.
Joey Weingartner, meanwhile, continues this impressive game tonight. 17 points for the Centerville, Ohio native. 3-pointer on the way. That is no good, and the rebound taken by Jackson as Zach Walker came up empty for Olivet. Quickly back down the floor. Jamison back out to Weingartner. Weingartner, meanwhile, on the left wing. Now over to Schreck. 18 on the shot clock. 16-15 remaining in the second half. And Capital leading Olivet 52-22. Boone pulls up for a jumper. And Boone is no good on that jumper. R.J. Haas with the rebound. Zach Walker across half court. Down the lane. Walker, scoop shot, no good. Battle for the loose ball. And now a foul is going to be called against Olivet. They're going to get Chris Krazan battling with Jackson for position. Or was that Jamison on that play?
It was Krazan actually, I think they called him out of bounds with the ball landing on his back as he was battling with Jamison like you mentioned there.
So now Schreck to Boone. Now with Jackson. Jackson across half court. Ooh, and Jackson might have gotten away with an armbar right there. Jamison. Back out to Schreck. Capital 52. Olivet 22. Weingartner pulls up, and the jumper is good, and Joey has got it going on tonight at the Cap Center.
He has matched his jersey number now at 22 points.
Back on the other side, Zach Walker. Push it on over to Sakitas. No, not Sakitas, excuse me. It's back out to Walker. Walker to his left, goes inside to Shumper, and looks like Shumper got pushed by Boone. As the frustrating night continues for Nate Boone, the 6'7" freshman out of Waterson, Ohio. 2 fouls so far on Capital this half, only 1 on Olivet. Inbound for the baseline, and Olivet gets it in successfully to Sakitas. Dribble on the inside, now back out to Shumper. Now to the corner, driving in, wild shot, no good for Kyle Emery. And now Weingartner across that court, and Weingartner loses it. It's a steal. Back the other way comes Zach Walker. Has his shot rejected by Austin Schreck. Now it's Brennan Chupran. Now on the inside, and the lob, and the bucket is good for Nate Boone. First bucket of the night for the Waterson, Ohio native. Capital 56. And Olivet 22. 14 and a half to play in the second half. 3-pointer on the way. That is no good. And the rebound is taken by Tyler Jamison. As the 3-pointer came up short for Sakitas. Now they go on the inside. Boone got hacked on his way to the bucket. So he'll now head to the free throw line. Nate Boone Here's a guy that is going to be counted upon to provide some good minutes in the post for Capital. And Jimmy, Capital played Bowling Green in an exhibition game, and Nate Boone put himself quite nicely. He had 15 points in that game against the Falcons.
Yeah, it was a close game until the end of that one. I was talking to Ryan about our sports information director here, who went to Bowling Green, and he said it was very close until the last 10 minutes or so, and then Bowling Green kind of just pulled away in that game. They obviously don't get any credit for winning or losing that game, but obviously it's good to see them play a tough game against a D1 team.
Boone, meanwhile, readying for his second foul shot of the game. Shot is up, no good, and the rebound is taken by Jordan Ellis. Ellis, meanwhile, will hand it off to Zach Walker, and Walker drives in. He got fouled on his way to the 10, so now he'll shoot a pair of free throws.
Walker's been playing with 3 fouls for a good portion of the time he's been on the floor. Still hasn't slowed down whatsoever, playing his game. If he fouls out, he fouls out. Good aggressiveness to get to the rack there.
Zach Walker, a 6'1" senior from Lanesburg, Michigan. Shot is up and good. You're probably noticing all the players from Michigan on the squad. Well, that's because Olivet College is located in Michigan, about an hour and 15 west of Ann Arbor. So now Walker will head to the free throw line. Checking back in for Capital, Kanayu Yahaya. And now Yahaya will trigger from the baseline and give in to Geisy, who also checked in. Gavin Wildermuth as well. So a lot of substitutions for Capital.
Still Weingartner in though.
Weingartner back to Geisy. Now over to Wildermuth. Wildermuth goes inside. Back to Geisy. Geisy kick out. Weingartner for 3. That's no good. One of the rare misses from outside for Weingartner tonight as the rebound is pulled in by Griffin Lewis. Now it's Jordan Ellis at the top of the arc. Handling the ball for Olivet. Ellis dribbling to his right before he finally hands off to Zach Walker. Walker being guarded by Geisy. 13 on the shot clock. Ellis on the right wing now, spinning around. Puts a jumper over Weingartner's hand. No good, and the rebound is taken by Yahaya. Now it's over to Geisy, to Weingartner. Weingartner on the inside, and a traveling violation will go against Giller.
I think that's just his second turnover of the day. Been super efficient from the floor, 22 points tonight. Olivet with 24 as a team, just to show you the kind of day that he's had.
13:20 remain in the second half. Capital 57, Olivet 24. Walker dribbling around, being guarded by Caleb Mitchell. Now he's trapped on the inside before finally getting it back out to Emery. Walker with a 3 now, and that is no good. Rebound taken by Wildermuth. Wildermuth over to Geisy. Now over to Yahaya. Yahaya will pass back to Geisy as Capital attempts to break this press by Olivet. It's swung all the way over to Will Hanna now. Now to Geisy. Geisy at the top of the arc with 13 on the shot clock. Geisy gives it up to Wildermuth. Now back to Geisy. Now swung over to Hanna on the right wing. Now back to Geisy. Geisy dribbling in. Back out to Wildermuth. And a whistle foul will go against Capital as Damon Goodwin puts his hands on top of his head. Capital 57, Olivet 24, 12:36 left to play in the second half. And you have to believe at some point, Jimmy, that Coach Goodwin is going to empty the rest of his bench tonight against Olivet.
Yeah, you would think with the score the way it is, but you also should take into account it is the first game of the year, so he wants to see these guys get quality minutes and still play as a team right now, so that you got to kind of balance those two out right now.
Gavin Wildermuth, pass on the inside, batted away by Yahaya, and Capital comes up with a steal. On the inside now to Caleb Mitchell, and Mitchell backs his man down and gets the bucket to go.
It's important to note they have a game Friday, they have a game Saturday, and then they play again a week from tonight. So 4 games in 7 days for this team too, Charlie.
Playing Shannon, LaRoche, Ohio Wesleyan, and Mount St. Joseph in those games. 3-pointer on the way. That's no good by Griffin Lewis. And now a foul called against Capital.
The same LaRoche that's in action tonight against one of the other OAC foes that you mentioned.
Obviously that Ohio Wesleyan game is going to be tough. The Battling Bishops.
On the road too.
Oh, Battling Bishops They're usually pretty tough.
They will shoot from anywhere on the court at any time. I
And they-
believe Axelrod, their point guard's still there. He
Yep.
probably a Conference Player of the Year candidate.
They really like to run up and down the floor. Foul shot good for Kyle Emery, the 6'2 sophomore out of Cleveland, Ohio. Went to Euclid High School up there in the Northeast Corridor. One more foul shot to go for Emery. Shot up by Emery, and it is good. Capital 59, Olivet 26 with 11:47 left to play in the second half. Wildermuth streaking up the floor. Yahaya puts up a shot, and a charge is going to be called against Yahaya as he puts his hands up in dismay.
I really like how he responded, though. He went right to Coach, and Coach, offering some advice to him out there on the floor. And it's good that he's so coachable already. It's just a freshman.
Bringing the ball up the floor now for Olivet is PJ Trammell. Trammell on the right wing being guarded by Wildermuth. Trammell still dribbling around with 17 on the shot clock. Almost a loose ball that time, but Griffin Lewis is able to keep it for Olivet. The Comets in their half-court offense, back to Trammell now. Trammell down the lane, and his shot is blocked by Wildermuth. It's raced ahead. Yahaya rocks the rim!
Wow.
I told you this kid was athletic.
Holy cow, are you kidding? Bringing the house down almost.
6'4" freshman from Allen, Kentucky.
Wow.
He has got hops, that is for sure.
Student section gave him a standing O, and he deserved it.
After a play like that, deservedly so.
That came out of nowhere.
So coming in for Olivet after all that craziness, Matt Subject and Damian Bennett. Also coming in will be Jarius Shumpert.
Wow. That's an exclamation point in the 30-plus point game right now.
I would imagine so. And by the way, 10 points for the young man from Kentucky. Make it 11 with that made free throw. Not a bad debut.
5 for 5 from the stripe, too.
Capital 62, Olivet 26. 11:05 left to play in the second half. Jordan Terry. Over to Aaron Washington. A steal for Capital now. Wildermuth. Over to Geisy. Geisy. Now to Hannah inside, and the layup is good for Caleb Mitchell.
He's had a nice day, too, with 6 points off the bench. Him and Yahaya kind of carrying the field there.
Some length and athleticism with these young pups for Capital. I like it. Capital 64, Olivet 26, approaching 10.5 to play in the second half. A game that has virtually been dominated by Capital from start to finish. And now his turnover. Wildermuth with the steal. Hannah, Yahaya showing off the mid-range jumper. Kind of need a little work on that after he missed it. Now Wildermuth out on the left wing, and now Capital will pull it back. Hannah back into Yahaya. Yahaya with a strong move towards the rim, off the glass and in.
That's a little bit more high percentage there, right under the rim. Good toughness down low. Heck of a steal by Wildermuth, too. He didn't even look at the ball. He just stuck his hand behind his back and was able to take the ball away.
Capital 66, Olivet 26. 9:45 left to play in the second half, and the jumper is no good by Bennett.
Fading away from a sharp angle.
Wildermuth not able to finish. Oh, that was almost a tip back in for Yahaya. Meanwhile, Olivet screams back the other way, and there's a block on the other end by Caleb Mitchell. Here comes Yahaya. Is he going to do it again? Oh, he almost did it again, but he got fouled, and he missed it. But man, oh man. If this is a preview of what we're going to get from this young man this season, boy, sign me up for this year. This is going to be awesome.
He is fun to watch. Absolutely, he's going to try it again.
Look at the smile that he's got on his face. You can't help but smile at a play like that.
The whole student section is ready to lose it. They might be coming into some more games if they're going to see more of that.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Can you imagine him laying down a dunk like that in a game like Otterbein?
Yeah.
Free throw is no good. Ganayu Yahaya.
It's like Shrek checking back in with Jackson and Jamison getting the starters back in there. The only starter not out there, actually two not out there, behind Gardner. as well as Boone.
So one more free throw for Yahaya. It is no good. So he misses 2 free throws. Capital 66, Olivet 26. 9:18 remain in the second half. Jordan Terry dribbling around. Passes it off. The three-pointer's no good by Matt Subject. Now it's back out. Shumpert for 3. That's no good. Another rebound for Subject. And now laying it up and in is Damian Bennett. Shrek will get the inbound. Shrek to Tyrell Jackson. Jackson will feed it ahead. Over to Wildermuth, who loses it out of bounds. It's a little too tall there for Gavin.
Shrek has had a really good day today, Charlie. Kind of quietly done that, but he's 3 for 3 from the field, 7 points, 5 rebounds.
Jordan Terry bringing the ball up the court for Olivet, who trails Capital 66-28. 8:45 remaining in the second half. Matt Subject on the right wing, trying to dribble around a couple of defenders. He'll now get it back out to Damian Bennett on the left wing. They go back inside. Jumper on the way. That's no good for Shumpert. And the rebound taken by Boone. Boone now over to Shrek. Shrek now quieting things down a little bit. Quickens his pace a little bit as he crosses half court, but now slowing down a little bit more. Tyrell Jackson to Wildermuth. Now to Boone. Boone passing it to Shrek. 11 on the shot clock. Jackson thought about a 3. Drives on in. Kick back out. Boone over to Wildermuth. Wildermuth for 3. Gavin knocks it down from the left wing.
He wanted the ball. He was spotted up for about 10 seconds and just waited and waited and waited, and they finally got the ball out to him.
7:55 remain in the second half. Capital 69. Olivet 28. Griffin Lewis dribbles in. Puts up a shot. That's no good. Jackson with the rebound for Capital. Tyrell across the timeline. Tyrell down the lane. Tyrell spinning and turning before getting it back out to Wildermuth, who will spot up another 3. That's no good. Ball batted up in the air, and it's going to be out of bounds off of Jerry Shumpert, which means it'll be Capital ball. Now coming into the game for Capital will be Dan Olivet, who had 2 points in that first half of play. Gavin Wildermuth will take a seat on the bench for Capital in the meantime.
Zakitis and Wade checking back in as well on the other side for Olivet.
Tyler Jamison over to Abel. Abel from Brecksville, Ohio. 6-foot freshman. Now towards midcourt. Now it's over to Boone. Boone, turnaround jumper, no good. Tipped back out by Shrek, and it's gathered by Abel. A shot clock for Capital. Abel now over to Jackson. Abel driving in. Foul batted around. Abel gets back the ball. Now to Jackson with 15 on the shot clock. Jackson dribbling around inside to Boone. Boone, power dribble. Off the glass, no good. Rebound taken by Matt Subject of Olivet.
One of the best defensive sequences there from Olivet. Even though they gave up the offensive rebound, they recovered nicely.
Capital 69, Olivet 28. And the three-pointer made by Thomas Zakitsis, the Greek native. Finally breaking that schneid that Olivet had been on when it came to three-point shooting.
And Europeans know how to shoot from outside. Zakitis no different.
Abel to Jackson. 6:20 remaining in the second half. Capital 69 and Olivet 31. Shrek to Jackson outside. Abel will let loose for 3. That's no good, and the rebound is taken by Tyler Jamison. So a fresh shot clock for Capital here.
Smart to pull it out and just let some more clock come down here. 6 minutes to go.
Boone inside to Jamison, back out to Abel, swung to Jackson. Jackson loses the ball, but gets it back in. Three-pointer on the way for Shrek. That's no good. Boone, offensive rebound, and a twisting, turning layup to finish.
You would say it's not normal for the starters to be in this late in this big of a game, but Nate Boone, a freshman who's still trying to get his legs under him, came out early in the first half with the foul trouble, and we're seeing him really come more into himself here tonight.
Three-pointer, no good for Quentin Way, and the rebound dug out by Capital. Now it's over to Jamison. Jamison gets it back now to Jackson to Abel. Now into the corner. Shrek drives in, and a blocking foul is going to be called against Zakitsis.
His second foul. No real foul trouble for either side. I guess Haas with 3 and Walker with 3 from Olivet, but not really a factor in a 40-point game as well. Shrek has 3 fouls at the shooting line right now.
Sophomore from Erlanger, Kentucky, at the charity stripe at the moment. By the way, the foul situation for both teams, in case you're wondering, and Shrek knocks down his first free throw, 5 apiece for each team.
Gooden comes off, gets some high fives from his teammates. He had a really good showing in his second half.
Brendan Chukran, meanwhile, checks in for Capital. Also coming in for Capital, Jaden O'Neal. He's a 6'1" freshman out of Lima, Ohio. Second free throw on the way for Shrek, and that is good. Capital 73, Olivet 31. Bringing the ball up the court for Olivet now is PJ Trammell. Trammell on the left wing. Swings it over to Sakitsis. Sakitsis jacks up a 3. That's no good, and the rebound taken by Shrek. Shrek now just dribbling the ball around here as we approach 5 minutes to play here in the second half. Capital 73, Olivet 31. Oval swings it to Shrek. To Chukran now. Chukran over to Shrek. Shrek to Oval. Dribbling in and getting it bounced off a foot. Jaden O'Neal. Now coming back in for Olivet is Kyle Emery. 4:42 left to play in regulation. Capital 73, Olivet 31. Oval in the corner. Gets it out to O'Neal. Chukran for 3. Chukran misses, and the rebound taken by Olivet's PJ Trammell. Now another 3 on the other end. And it's missed by Subject. And Shrek gets the rebound for Capital. Shrek across half court. Shrek now over to Oval. Oval going over his options on the left wing before he gets it over to O'Neal. Now back to Oval. Oval dribbling in towards the foul line. Back out to Shrek. O'Neal gets it back out to Oval. Oval long jumper, and Oval knocks it down. Capital 76 and Olivet 31. Pushing 4 minutes left to play here in regulation. And by the way, we haven't had a timeout yet in the second half. Continuous action here at the Cap Center. Kyle Emery drives in, misses his shot, and Shrek grabs yet another rebound for Capital. The leading rebounder for Capital from a year ago, or at least returning, I should say. And O'Neal expecting the pass for Capital, instead it's knocked out of bounds. Now a couple more substitutions here for the Crusaders. Let's see here, coming in will be number 32, Jacob Yesbach, excuse me, from Strongsville, and Courtney Mays, 6'6" sophomore out of Cleveland. And Brandon Holiday, meanwhile, has checked in for Capital. He was from the Cincinnati area. Now a momentary pause in the action. Now what's happening here?
I think they called a foul on the shooter. I heard them say on shooter. I don't know what they're talking about though. Maybe a technical foul.
Well, it looks to be a technical foul. Zach Walker will head to the free throw line with nobody there. And
Chukran's talking to the official. Looks like he has blood, I guess is what they're checking for.
oh, okay.
But I don't know how the technicals against Capital, if he's the one bleeding, if he was the one called for. I'm not sure what happened. Something that we didn't see, obviously. Capital only has 4 players on the court right now, though. Unless Chukran's going to be allowed to come back onto the floor.
And that's why we have the momentary pause in action. 3:41 left to play in the second half. As Chukran comes back onto the floor. Capital 75, Olivet 31. I say all in all, a good night, a good way to start the 2016-2017 campaign for Capital.
Definitely a good start to their season.
Inbound from the baseline. They'll get it into Chukran. Chukran to O'Neal. O'Neal at the top of the arc, trying to go to work. 17 on the shot clock. They go inside to Mays. Mays, the big man, loses the ball, and it's a turnover. Olivet forces the steal. Up ahead, and Walker scores with the right hand. And I could kind of see the frustration on Damon Goodwin that right there by his body language. Now a dribble on the inside by Yesbach. O'Neal, and they loses the ball once again, but they step out of bounds.
Coach is coaching this one like it's a 5-point game right now, and that's all you ask of your head coach. Keep that intensity all the way through. Even got out of his seat.
Well, you got to remember, Jimmy, this is a job where Coach Goodwin's trying to build up this Capital roster from the bottom up, but especially with all these young players, freshmen and sophomores. Courtney Mays, meanwhile, he's dribbling in, and Mays will finish with the right hand, and that gets a big yell from the crowd here. The big man finishing at the rim.
That was an explosive cut there from Mays. Limbered up a little bit, as you mentioned during the football broadcast. His brother, I think you said, on the football team.
Mays has definitely lost a lot of weight compared to the season ago. He does look slimmer. Still got a big girth about him, but, you know, looks like he can move a little bit better. Walker, meanwhile, scores with the right hand off the glass and in. Tell you what, Zach Walker, he's going to be counted upon for this Olivet squad. He's turned in some nice minutes, plays hard for the Comets. As the Comets continue to go with that press defense. And now a steal for Trammell. Trammell will glide on in with the left hand and score. 2:18 remaining in regulation. Capital 77, Olivet 37. Let's take a timeout. You are listening to Capital Men's Basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. Remaining in the second half, and Capital comfortably ahead of Olivet, 77-37. Coming up, we'll have the Peking Dynasty post-game show for you. Take a look at the final stats and scores around the OAC, and we might be joined by either Damon Goodwin or a player. You just have to see. Mays, meanwhile, scores at the rim once again. Courtney Mays with 4 points. Hopefully this guy can be a factor coming off the bench in the post. That would be nice for Capital.
Yeah, like we said at the start of the half, we've been looking for that post presence. We didn't get it tonight. They haven't really needed it, obviously, and with the way Olivet's played defense, they've been giving up an outside shot.
Three-pointer on the way, and it is good for Kyle Emery.
Speaking of outside shots, but obviously tonight it wasn't needed in the post. It will be needed down the road, especially through conference play, and we'll see what players emerge in that position. Boone looked good in limited role tonight as well, I think.
Twisting, turning, and a bucket made by Jacob Riesbach, a freshman out of Strongsville, Ohio. 81-40, Capital on top of Olivet with 18 remaining in regulation. Floater in the air, and a foul's going to be called as Jordan Ellis will be heading to the free throw line. Again, another reminder, our next men's basketball broadcast will be November 29th. That'll be on a Tuesday. Crusaders will be hosting the Tigers of Wittenberg as part of the NCAC OAC Challenge as Ellis misses his first free throw.
8 o'clock start, yeah.
Tip-off is scheduled for 8 o'clock, and we'll get things started with the Crusaders pregame show starting at 7:30. And you know, hopefully, Jimmy, by the time we get to that game, we have a lot of positives to talk about with Capital. They got some good competition coming up.
Absolutely. They've got a couple games here, 4 games. All of them going to be either neutral or on the road. So it'll be fun to see.
As O'Neal gets fouled.
Yeah, I think especially that Ohio Wesleyan game is the one to be the litmus test for this team to see how we're going to stack up. I obviously would not expect Capital to go in there and win that game, but if they can keep it competitive throughout, I think that's going to be a really positive sign for them moving into conference play.
If anything, it'll be a learning experience. Not only is Ohio Wesleyan a very good team year in and year out, but they play in one of the weirder looking arenas, let's just say. Yeah, they call that place a bandbox for good reason. As the jumper is good.
It's almost like an old high school warehouse looking gym, and very loud inside as well.
And it's called, I think it's named after Branch Rickey, if I'm correct, right?
That sounds right to me.
Branch Rickey, the baseball executive that signed Jackie Robinson to that famous contract back in the early 40s. He was an Ohio Wesleyan graduate back in the day.
Good rebound.
Meanwhile, Courtney Mays continues to have some good minutes here for Capital in the waning seconds. 30 seconds remaining in regulation. Turnover for Capital. They'll feed it ahead to Kyle Emery, who finishes at the other end. Capital 83, Olivet 43, with 25 seconds remaining in regulation. If I'm O'Neill right here, I just run out the clock. Shot clock's been turned off. No reason to jack up another shot here at this point with the win well in hand. Holding the ball is Brandon Holiday. Holiday will simply hold the ball, and that will be that here at the Capitol Center. A great start to the 2016-2017 campaign as Capital defeats Olivet tonight by a final of 83-43. Coming up, we'll have the Peking Dynasty postgame show for you as we wrap things up from the Capitol Center. Again, it is Capital triumphing over Olivet 83-43. You have been listening to Crusaders men's basketball here on the Capital Sports Network. Welcome back to the Capital Center and welcome into the Peking Dynasty post-game show. Well, a good result to report from Bexley tonight as the men's basketball team of Capital opens the 2016-2017 campaign with a victory over Olivet College. Final 84-43 in favor of the Crusaders. Jimmy, you couldn't have drawn it up any better for Capital.
No, 56% shooting from the field, 38% from outside, right on line with our target for them, 26% shooting for Olivet, which we obviously said they were going to have struggles tonight offensively, and that played right into that. How about the rebounding margin, Charlie? 49-25 in favor of the Crusaders, nearly doubling them up. I think the 14 turnovers, a little bit of a concern, only forcing 7 turnovers, another concern as well, but I think we'll let those ones go. And the big story tonight was the emergence of Joey Weingartner as the primary scorer for this team. We were looking for that guy that's going to be the one that kind of picks up the slack for a lot of departing players. Again, we mentioned in the pregame show that only 34 points per game from last year are returning with this team. It's a team full of role players, and some of those role players have to step up into bigger roles with this team, be it minutes or be it scoring, shooting the ball more, playing better defense on some players as well. And I think we saw a positive step forward tonight.
Let's now take a look at the final stats brought to you by the CU Society of Sports Management. First for Capital. As we mentioned, Joey Weingartner is your leading scorer with 23 points, shot 9 of 18 from the field, 5 of 10 from three-point range. Ganuyu Yahaya also with an impressive game. The Kentucky native with 13 points in this ball game. Other scorers for Capital tonight: Nate Boone with 5 points, Tyler Jamison with 4, 9 points and 9 rebounds for Austin Schreck, 9 points and 7 rebounds for Tyrell Jackson, 6 points for Caleb Mitchell, 3 points for Gavin Wildermuth, 4 points for Dan Oval, and 4 points each for Jacob Yesbach and Courtney Mays. Meanwhile, the stats for Olivet look like this. Kyle Emery with 11 points. We'll continue the discussion on stats in just a moment, but right now we're joined by the head coach of the Capital Men's Basketball Program, Damon Goodwin. Coach, glad to be with you, and I think you have to take away a lot of positives from this game. Let's start with Joey Weingartner. Looks like this guy might be primed for a big season.
Yeah, Joey's been a very good offensive player for us so far in the preseason. Went out and made some shots tonight. Played hard, got some good opportunities, got some good looks by his teammates, and he took advantage of it.
Tell me about Ganayu Yahaya.
We call him G. Very athletic, very quick, a lot of bounce to his game. So he's certainly going to be a part of what we do in the future.
Also, nice games by Austin Schreck and Tyrell Jackson, two guys that you're going to be counting upon with some veteran leadership, if you will.
Yeah, Austin just got back about 3 days ago from practice. Broke his hand in the preseason, has missed for 2 months. So a little rusty out there for him, but we know he's one of the better players in our program, and he did a pretty good job handling the ball, and it was a good, really, first scrimmage for him. It's the first time he's played outside competition.
You got an interesting schedule coming up here with Chatham, LaRoche, also Ohio Wesleyan, taking them on in the NCAC OAC Challenge, and Mount St. Joseph. What do you want your team to take away from these next 4 games?
Well, this is a big weekend for us. We're going to Pittsburgh to play 2 games. We have to clean up a little bit of our offensive. I don't think we handled the ball extremely well. We missed some passes. We didn't get to the places we were supposed to be offensively. I thought defensively we did a good job. So we need to build on that defense. We do a little bit better offense before the weekend.
Well, in the meantime, you can celebrate this win, Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was our Coach Damon Goodwin. Join us here on the Peking Dynasty postgame show. Our postgame coach interview brought to you by the Capital ROTC, as I welcome my broadcast partner Jimmy Bloomfield back into the broadcast booth. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the rest of the stats from this game. We ran down the stats for Capital, now the stats for Olivet. Kyle Emery, your leading scorer for Olivet with 11 points. 4 points for R.J. Haas. 2 points each for Jordan Terry and Chris Brazan. 5 points for Eric Ewing, 3 points for Matt Subject, 2 points for P.J. Trammell, 6 points for Zach Walker, 2 points for Damian Bennett, 3 points for Thomas Zakitsis, 1 point for Jordan Ellis, and 2 points for Jerry Shumpert. As a team, Capital shot 57% from the field, only 8 of 21 from three-point range, good for 38%. Olivet, meanwhile, shot 26.6% from the field and 14.3% from three-point range. They were only 4 of 28 from downtown. The free throws, Capital 10 of 15 from the charity stripe, Olivet 5 of 8. Capital out-rebounds Olivet 49 to 25. Capital turns the ball over 14 times as opposed to Olivet 7 times. And Jimmy, let's now go ahead and name tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Donato's Pizza. You know, we've been talking all night about Ganayu Yahaya. He had a great game and all, but this night belonged to Joey Weingartner.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy call here. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 9 of 18 shooting, 5 three-pointers made, 5 of 10 from outside, efficient as well. Easy call, but I think Yahawa's might make a player a game or two down the road. And definitely had the play of the night with that big dunk.
We are certainly expecting a lot of things out of that young man. Our player of the game brought to you by Donato's Pizza. And before we let you go, let's take a look at some scores around the OAC. Our OAC scoreboard update brought to you by Jersey Mike's Subs and Sandwiches. A lot of games just getting started because, let's face it, Jimmy, we had a very early start to the evening with a 6 o'clock tip-off. A lot of games not starting until 7 o'clock. Minute 48 left to play in the first half at Muskingum. The Muskies leading Kenyon 37 to 21 in that one. They've just gotten underway at Case Western, where Case Western is playing host to Baldwin Wallace. 7 to 5 the early score in that one. Also taking place tonight, Marietta will be playing host to LaRoche. That is coming up later tonight at 8 o'clock. And other games taking place at 8 o'clock tonight, Wilmington playing host to Mount St. Joseph, and Alma playing host to Ohio Northern. Also some scores from Division I ball. A shocking upset earlier tonight as Baylor, unranked Baylor, upsets number 4 Oregon 66 to 49. Number 2 Kentucky leading number 13 Michigan State 23 to 14. Syracuse leading Holy Cross 39 to 20. The Orange men check in at number 18 in the latest polls. Number 8 Virginia leading St. Francis of Brooklyn 26 to 11 with 3:20 left to play in the first half. And then coming up later on tonight, number 5 North Carolina plays host to Long Beach State. Number 9 Wisconsin taking on Creighton. Number 22 are the Blue Jays at Madison Square Garden. A big game between Duke and Kansas with Jayhawks number 7, the Blue Devils number 1 at 9:30, and finally number 10 Arizona playing host to CSU Bakersfield. Jimmy, your final thoughts tonight?
Well, don't remember, first off, the women's also in action right now. They just started up. They're up 6-0 midway through the first quarter against Wittenberg. Chelsea Pla already has 4 points and 6 rebounds in 5 minutes. So make sure you stay up to date on that one. Go to athletics.capital.edu after the game as well for a full recap of that game and this game as well. In terms of my final thoughts here tonight, Charlie, I mean, nothing really to get overly excited about. Obviously, a 40-point win is a nice start to the season, and I think as the season goes on, we'll get a little bit more quality opponents in the building, and we'll see what happens as conference play plays out. But I think the emergence of Joey Weingartner, I don't think it was just because of the lesser opponent here tonight. I think it is a real emergence for him. He came on towards the end of last year. He's trying to get chemistry with the team, get into the system, and I think having the whole offseason to work him in, he's really going to be that scorer for them. And Shrek and Jackson and Hannah and others, Geisy, are going to have to be those role players as guards distributing the basketball, and then they're going to need some presence inside. We've seen some of that. And I think this guy is a very good player that we've seen for the first time tonight. Coach said he calls him G, and we might pick that up as well.
Yeah, I think so.
through the season, but he played a heck of a game here in his first game at the collegiate level, and hopefully that continues as well. We see some other players emerge, and I think a lot to be happy about tonight. I wasn't overly surprised with anything I saw, but everything that needed to happen tonight, Charlie, happened, and that's a good thing to say.
Our next men's basketball broadcast will be on November 29th. That is a Tuesday night, as Capital plays host to the Wittenberg Tigers as part of the NCAC OAC Challenge. That game will tip off at 8 o'clock, and we'll get things started with the Crusaders pregame show starting at 8. Our next basketball broadcast period, that will be coming on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, where we get to take our first look at Capital's women's basketball team. That will be November 26th, as the Lady Crusaders play host to Mount Aloysius. That game will tip off at 3 o'clock. Pregame show will start at 2:30. For my broadcast partner, Jimmy Bloomfield, this is Charlie Danis saying one final time, the final score tonight here at the Cap Center, Capital triumphs over Olivet 83-43. We will see you on November 26th as we open the season, the home opener, I should say, for Capital Women's Basketball. Until then, we'll see you next time.